Okay, this is Mr. Sladkey with pre-calculus. This is section 6.1. Target is to change from radian measure to degrees and back. All right, so that's what we'll be doing, back and forth from degree to radian. Radian is a new way to measure an angle. And typically what we say is 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi. 2 pi is our new radian measure for one revolution, 360 degrees. So if we were to find the radian measure of 180 degrees, we could just say divide this into 2 because 360 divided by 2 is 180. 2 pi divided by 2 is pi. So the radian measure of 180 degrees is pi. All right, there's a nice formula for this. It's a proportion formula. So since 180 degrees is equal to pi, we can just say the degrees over 180 is equivalent to the radians over pi. Okay, so this is something you'll need to memorize. All right, so use this rule, this formula, and change 38 degrees to radians. Go ahead and pause. All right, let's check it out. Okay, so I used the formula right up here. 38 is the degree over 180 is equal to radians over pi. I reduced 19 over 90 multiplied by pi to both sides. Now, if you keep it in pi form, this is the answer. If you keep it in straight radians, no pi, that means I multiply by 3.14, it would be 0.663 radians. All right, here's a new question. Find the degree measure of 0.6 pi radians. I'll pause. Okay, here's how you do it. In for the degree, for the radian is 0.6 pi. Over pi is equal to unknown degree over 180. We solve out. The pi's cancel. You get 0.6 times 180 is equal to d, which is the degree is 108. Okay, you really want to try to do a lot of the conversions in your mind, all right? And there will be a 4-point quiz tomorrow on these conversions. So be prepared. So the next few minutes, I'm just going to cover a few ways to try to remember this. But before I do, I just got to give you a couple questions. What does trigonometry have in common with a beach? Tangents. Get it? Tan. How about this? Trigonometry for farmers, swine, and co-swine. All right, back to real trig. Okay, here's the rule. 15 degrees is 1/12 pi, or 15 degrees is pi over 12. So every 15 degrees, 1/12 pi, 2/12 pi. 2/12 pi is pi over 6. 3/12 pi. 3/12 pi is pi over 4. 4/12 pi is pi over 3, or 1/3 pi. Those are huge. All right, and then lastly, the next one is if we had 6/12 pi would be 90 degrees. That is pi over 2. Okay, so quite interesting. We have 1/12 pi, 2/12 pi, 3/12 pi, 4/12 pi, and then lastly 6/12 pi. So these are very nice, and it's the 15-degree rule. Every 15 we go up a 12th. Okay, here's another rule. The pi over 4 rule. 1 pi over 4 is 45 degrees. 2 pi over 4 is half pi, or pi over 2. 3, which is 135 degrees, is 3 pi over 4. Okay, so 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4 would be 1 pi. Okay, let's do the 30 rule in sixths. Pi over 6, 2 30s would be 2/6, or 1/3. 3 30s would be 3/6, or pi over 2. 4/6 would be 2/3 pi, or 120. 5/6 pi would simply be 150 degrees, and 6/6 pi would be pi, because it's 1/6 over 6. So that's the 30-degree rule. Okay, and then the 60-degree rule. Okay, pi over 3. 2/60s would be 120. That'd be 2/3. So 2 pi over 3. You know, in your booklet, in your green booklet, you'll notice that all of these are on the front cover. And then if we did 3/3 pi, that'd be 1 pi, or 180 degrees. Okay, so these connections are very nice. You know, the quarters, like 45 degrees, 1/4, and then we have 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4. If we went down to thirds, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3. Sixth, do the same thing. You have all the rules in that one slide there. All right, let's have a question. You can do this with the formula or with some of the rules I just talked about. Change this to degrees. I'll have you pause and try it on your own. Okay, here we go. I use the formula first. Radians over pi equals degree over 180. These cancel. We get 5/12 times 180 is degrees. I'm just reducing this. 180 over 12 times 5 is 75 degrees. That's our answer. I like it better this way, though. And that would be the 15-degree rule. 1 pi over 12 is 15 degrees. Well, 5 times 15 is 75, so 5 pi over 12 is 75 degrees. So that's, you know, if we multiplied 5 pi over 12, it's really multiplying 5 times 15 to get to 75. That's the 15 rule. Okay, here's the next question. Convert the radian measures to degrees. I'll pause, and you pause, and go ahead and try it on your own. Okay, here we go. I did it with the formula first. The radian measure over pi is degrees over 180. The pi's cancel. We get negative 2/3 times 180, which is negative 120 in degrees. Here's the other way. I like the 60 rule. Pi over 3 is 60 degrees. So we have 2 of those. So twice 60 is 120. Makes it a lot easier if you remember those rules. Okay, I'm going to give you a second to try to match these up. Pause the video and try to match these up. Okay, here it is. 2/3 pi is 120. We just covered that. And we covered that too. 75 is 5 pi over 12. Here's an easy one. 60 degrees is pi over 3. That's kind of a memorization thing. 45 degrees is pi over 4. 30 degrees is pi over 6. 150 is a little harder. 150 degree, if we use the 30 rule, that's 5 30s or 5 pi over 6s. 90 degrees is pi over 2. Okay, lastly, I'm going to give you a practice 4-point quiz. Give this a try. This is like what you'll see tomorrow. You'll see a real quiz tomorrow. So pause the video, try these 4, and then I'll give you the answers. Okay, here we go. First of all, 150 degrees. 150 degrees, I just used the formula. 150 over 180 is r over pi. 15 over 18 is 5/6. So we said 5/6 pi. The other way is the 30 rule. 1/6 pi is 30 degrees. So there's 5 30s in 150. So there's 5 pi over 6s. So that's our answer. Whoa. Okay, and next, 135 degrees, 135 over 180 is r over pi. 135 over 180 reduced to be 3/4, and then multiply by the pi there, and so therefore you get your answer. Or I use the 45 rule. Pi over 4 is 45 degrees. There's 3 45s and 135. So I said 3 times pi over 4 is my solution of 3 pi over 4. All right. Next, change to degrees. 2 pi over 3. I just used the formula. The pi's cancel. 2/3 of 180 is 120. Or use the 60 rule. Pi over 3 is 60. There are 2 pi over 3 is in 2 pi over 3. So 2 times 60 is 120. And then lastly, 3 pi over 2. 3 pi over 2 over pi equals r over 180. The pi's cancel. 3 pi over 2 times 180 is 270. Or pi over 2 is 90. There's 3 of those, so 3 90s is 270. Okay, so that's the lesson. Not too long today, but I do have to give you the homework. If I can find it. Here it is. Okay, so it's section 6-1. It's day A, page 361. In your textbook, we got to go back to our textbooks. And it's 17, 19, 21, and 35 to 57 odd. Don't forget to check your answers in the back of the book. Write out your problems and show how you did them. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'll be in school early tomorrow morning.